I'm here, and I'm going to ask Aaron a question. Your question's good. Be ready. Aaron, can you just tell us a bit? You're the our Janus Charity Challenge representative here. You've joined this race to raise money for a cause that's important to you, and I'd love to hear your story about why you're doing that, what you're doing that for, and just a little bit more about why you're choosing to be an Ironman athlete, raising money for the Janus Charity Challenge.
First of all, I'm just thankful you know nothing about me, so you can't point out any of my weaknesses. So I arrived in Iraq around this time last year. In fact, in 2 days, it will be exactly a year from the date I landed in Kuwait, deploying to support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. When I got there, I've always been a runner. I've enjoyed biking, had done a few triathlons, and never really thought much about the Ironman other than it being kind of a lifelong goal that maybe someday I'd like to do. There's, as you know, when you're deployed, you always look for something to kind of keep your mind off of the fact that you're away from your family, a long way from home, and kind of working long hours and doing a hard job. So I picked running to start with. Found out there was going to be a pool opening in a few days. Started swimming there, and then a friend of mine shipped a bike over. So all three disciplines were kind of there at my beck and call. So I thought, well, why not start training for something big? Around that same time, we lost a few soldiers, and hearing the stories of those soldiers and the families that they left behind kind of inspired me to do something a little more than just for myself. I've come to love training for triathlon, come to love training for the distance that Ironman is, but there's something even more motivating about doing something for someone else, especially being that when I flew out of Fort Riley, Kansas, I left behind 2 small children and my wife, who was pregnant at the time. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about what it would be like if I didn't come back for them. And thinking about one of the things that gave me a bit of peace of mind was knowing that someone would be there to take care of them, whether that be financially, whether that be just doing things around, helping my wife around the house, doing things like that. So that's kind of where this all came from. And happened to contact Heather via email just after reading a great story about her and how supportive she's been in her family, and it was kind of a great match. Got some good tips and some great coaching for my unique situation, and kind of the rest is history, and here I am sitting up here with a lot of really fast people.
Now is this working? Oh, thank you very much. Can you tell us what you're raising money for the Charity Challenge?
Absolutely. When I started doing this, I essentially went on the internet, searched for a group that was actually giving the proceeds specifically to the children, and happened to come across something called the Children of the Fallen Soldiers Relief Fund. It is a nonprofit organization started right around the time of the start of the Iraq conflict by a young lady who's had a son who was there, and some of his friends were killed, and they left behind small children as part of their families. So that was kind of a perfect fit. Their specific mission is to give college scholarships and then immediate financial relief to soldiers from the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts who were killed in action. And specifically college grants was the thing that I really thought was a great deal. You can actually find out more about the Children of Fallen Soldiers at cfsrf.org, and there's a number of events around the country that are benefiting this one, and I just happen to be one of those.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, Jonathan, first question for you. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's a 2-part question. It's a really long question, just like the other questions. You had a breakthrough race last year at Ironman Canada, second place. I feel like it was an awesome race to watch you do. And a lot of people look at you and they think, man, this guy's he's just a super nice guy, and he's everybody's friend, and he makes us all think that pro triathletes are all just best buddies and super awesome, and that may be true. But I think you were motivated to do well in that race because you wanted to beat one particular person, and he was fairly outspoken about his goals, and you put the smack down on him. So I'm just curious, with those results, are you driven like that for this race to beat any one particular rival or someone? Have you motivated yourself by those same means that gave you success in Canada?
Yeah. At the table here, the person I lost the most often against is Michellie. She beat me out about every races in the last few years, so that's one of the first person I want to beat this weekend. But no, I'm different in Canada. At Canada, I wanted to beat Gordo, and I beat him, and I ended up not winning the race because someone was run away with the race. So this time I don't target anyone. I just would like to be able to be ahead of everyone, and that'd be a fun feeling, I'm sure.
And why did you pick Ford Ironman Arizona? Being from Canada, racing there so successfully, why have you chosen this race? What makes this race special for you?
Well, I have one of my home state that I've been coming here to train for the last maybe 7 or 8 years, and my home state's from here, so it's kind of a bit of a home race. So, and it's the first race of the season, and it's time for me to test the fitness because it's been a long winter. So, looking forward to race, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone.
Okay, let's. I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty, and I think you know, Michellie, good luck. He's got you on the top of his list. Also, let's just jump into a few shorter questions, some of our informative questions, some of the pro panel type questions.